Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight podcast powered by CKREU. I'm your host, Sarah Brookbank. Today on the podcast, we are joined by Christopher Marshall and Kristin Vandivier of Rieck Services. They share how they're helping business owners achieve more efficient and cost-effective operations. We are also joined by Brittany Lewis of the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce. She talks about how businesses can join the chamber and the benefits of doing business in Carroll County. Thank you to our podcast sponsor, CKREU, Google and Amazon advertising experts. Now let's go hear from that sponsor, meet our members of the week, and I'll be back with this week's guests.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention, uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time, and there are no shortcuts. CKREU gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, CKREU generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can CKREU do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
Congratulations to our members of the week. You can learn more about these businesses by following the Northern Kentucky Chamber on social media, where we highlight one of these businesses each day. Now let's meet our members of the week. Kramer Tree Service is a fully equipped, licensed, and insured tree removal service company. TableSense is a nonprofit focused on improving systems that impact at-risk youth through research, advocacy, and impact investing. M&P Logistics provides transportation services to clients within the contiguous United States, as well as other parts of the world. The Cincinnati Cyclones are more than just a hockey team. They are a family-friendly entertainment experience that brings together the Cincinnati community. Hi, everyone. Today on the podcast, I am joined by Brittany Lewis of the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I am very excited to have you up talking about one of our partner chambers. I'm really excited to kind of talk about the benefits and the crossover and different things we can offer to members in partnership. But first, tell me a little bit about the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce, what you guys do, what your membership is like.
Awesome. So our chamber has really changed over the past 2 years specifically. We've really focused more on revitalizing it. There wasn't a lot of activity previously. Obviously, things in the world have changed and how we did business needed to change. So we've really focused on growth, reaching out to new members, hosting more events, putting some more spotlight back on the businesses to hopefully generate revenue for them and create a bigger camaraderie in our community.
Yeah, I love hearing that. Like you said, things have really changed. And you've been involved with the Carroll County Chamber for a number of years. When you guys have been working on this change and attraction, what has you excited about that?
I think seeing people come together, because I feel like a big missing component in the world today in general and in businesses, people are struggling and they feel like sometimes they're the only one struggling. Mm-hmm. So watching people come together and support each other, and just these businesses knowing, hey, there's other people, I have a community, I have support, there are events to bring us together and connect us.
Yeah, I love that. And so you mentioned events a couple times.
Yeah.
Tell us what you guys have going on.
So most recently we hosted a women's luncheon, which I was super excited about. We've had one luncheon last year and then a small meeting, and then this one we did another luncheon. We get business women from the community owning businesses. We had the CEO of a hospital, one of our ladies, they own a business called Easy Go. They do porta potties and different things.
Fun.
So we had spotlighted them. They were sponsors, but we had 60 women in attendance.
Awesome.
And it was just a great turnout for the community.
What else is new? What else has been going on with you all recently?
You know what? We've had some change in our coordinator and how we are approaching our businesses. So right now what we're doing is trying to be proactive about making the phone call and not waiting for businesses to contact us. Mm-hmm. We're contacting them. Hey, what do you need from us? How can we help you? What resources can we look into for you? So really trying to be the proactive resource versus a phone number or website that people just click on and then reach out to us.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that here at our chamber we try to do is
Yeah.
be proactive and planning programming about topics that we see on the horizon. But things are constantly changing.
They are.
Resources, that's a huge thing. When you think about what you guys are offering, tell us a little bit about what you offer to members, and then next we'll kind of talk about the partnership that we have with you.
Okay. So the biggest thing that we offer our members is going to be connecting them with other businesses to try to create that long-lasting partnership. If somebody wants to do a ribbon cutting, we don't just invite like, hey, you invite your family and friends. We invite the entire membership list to try to just get the word out and promote. People need all the help they can get.
Yeah.
Recently, we have partnered with the Carroll County Community Development Corporation, and the economic developer for the county is now kind of overseeing the chamber to partner and bring these two entities together.
Yeah.
So when new businesses come to town and he knows about that, then he sends them to the chamber and we connect and say, hey, let us help get you rooted with some other businesses and that sort of thing.
Yeah, helping people thrive and through making those connections.
Absolutely.
I love to hear that. And so I mentioned we have a partnership, the Northern Kentucky Chamber and the Carroll County Chamber, that gives your members access to benefits that our chamber offers. So things like our new 401k solution, insurance benefits, and different things like that. When you're thinking about those benefits, what are the ones that you recommend the most? What do you think is the most important to these businesses?
I believe the health insurance piece of it. It's so expensive for business owners to go to an independent insurance company and get it when it's not under a corporate umbrella. So having that benefit through the Northern Kentucky Chamber is massive, saves a lot of money, and having a professional from the Northern Kentucky Chamber who can give the information and being a contact versus an 800 number where we don't know these people, I think makes it easier and puts their mind at ease.
Yeah, for sure. And so for anyone that's listening to the podcast and is a member of the Carroll County Chamber or even our chamber, and you're not taking advantage of this, the best way to find more information is nkychamber.com/savings. And we have a huge list of member benefits, and we have a little down at the bottom. It talks more about those chamber to chamber partnerships for people to know more about. But I know we also wanted to talk about how people in Northern Kentucky can get connected in Carroll County, how businesses can expand or move down there. So when businesses from Northern Kentucky are looking to expand a little bit further south, how do they get that ball rolling in Carroll County?
They can call us at the chamber. The office number is 502-732-7034, or carrollcountychamberky.com is our website. And you can do a membership application or inquire about a question, and then that goes to our email, and somebody will reach out and connect you and give you the info that you're looking for.
Yeah, that makes it really easy. And so for businesses that maybe have thought about it, what are some of the things that you would recommend, or what things about Carroll County make it exciting for businesses to do business in Carroll County?
I think because it's still a small town feel. People they don't treat you like a business, they treat you like family. And that's something you don't get everywhere. So when you come and connect and go to a networking event, you're not a stranger. You've got 50 people coming up, 40 people introducing themselves, welcoming you. It's a very welcoming community, and people want to thrive and grow. So when we connect to new faces, it's exciting. We're excited about it. Our businesses are excited about it.
Yeah, that is really fun. It sounds like you guys have a really great thing going on down there in Carroll County. You mentioned how people can join and what they need to know. Is there anything else that you think people need to know about the work that the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce is doing right now?
I feel like Carrollton is this jewel of a town and community that a lot of people miss out on. There's so many interesting facts about our community. The stainless steel industry that we have there is enormous, and it's the biggest. We have so many resources and big things happening, businesses that are wanting to connect in other ways and broaden. It's just a jewel of a community that I think a lot of people should be more connected to.
Yeah. I absolutely love that. Actually, it's so funny you mentioned that. I remember when the Northern Kentucky Area Development did their housing study, they actually found that you guys are a huge importer of workers. You guys are a big count, like you guys have businesses that are attracting people
Yep,
to come and work, and people commute into
they do.
work, which I thought was really interesting. Obviously, up here in the top three counties, we're all back and forth, but it was really interesting to hear about how you guys are really a big economic driver for the region.
Huge. The amount of rentals that we have just for workers coming for 6 months, 4 months, to work at these large industries. And, they come and stay. We want them to live there, but we're working on that.
Yeah. Spoiler alert for like the next time we have you on
Yes.
the podcast to talk more about the Economic Development Corporation and the
Right.
community things that you guys are doing down there. But Brittany, it's been so great to have you on. Do you think there's anything else I missed asking? Anything else you think people need to know?
I think that if people are wanting to make business connections, partnerships, right now, the chamber is thriving and there's so much excitement and growth. Our slogan is connect, engage, and grow. And that's really, we're trying to do that in every event. So please reach out, call us, contact us. We would love to connect and get other folks incorporated.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for your time on the podcast
Thank
today.
you.
Hi, everyone. Today on the podcast, I am joined by Kristin and Christopher of Rieck Services. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I'm
happy to be here.
Yeah, I know, Kristin, you came down from Dayton, but Christopher, you are located here in the greater Cincinnati area. Let's jump right in. Tell us a little bit about your organization.
Sure.
So Rieck actually has a really deep history. We've been in business now for over 130 years, and it spans across 4 generations of the Rieck family. So it was started in 1892 in Dayton, Ohio by Herman Rieck. And a fun little fact about Herman is that he was famous or infamous, depending on how you want to look at it. His name was, or he was dubbed by folks in the Dayton area as the Flying Dutchman, because he had a tendency to drive his horse and buggy rather fast and a little wild through the streets of Dayton just to get the job done. So, but then moving on to the next generation, his 2 sons took over the business in the early 1900s, and then they each had a son, and so they were the 3rd generation owners, and it was Harold Rieck Sr. and Laverne Rieck, and they took over the business in 1936. And then fast forward to 1967 when Harold Rieck took it over, and Harold Rieck Jr. Was actually the CEO of the business for over 50 years. And he's what really brought us out of not just doing sheet metal and roofing, but expanding into broader mechanical systems and services, as well as piping and controls and so forth. And then you fast forward to 2020 when we wanted to expand and broaden our footprint from outside of just the Dayton market. And we really saw that there was so much happening in the greater Cincinnati area and a lot of potential for us to kind of bring our legacy into this market. And we're really excited to be here. So we've been here since 2020.
Yeah, and that's incredible. Over 130 years, you guys are well established up in Dayton,
Yes.
getting your foot in the door here, obviously, but it's been 5 years since you guys have been operating in Northern Kentucky if you started back in 2020. What are some of the things, what are the lessons that you guys have learned over your history that you're bringing into the area?
So what we've learned over time, we've worked with an extensive number of facilities, different types of facilities, whether it be hospitals, schools, manufacturers, distribution centers, office buildings. I could probably keep going. But something we've learned is that we can help many of these organizations, the people within these buildings, be more profitable. Whether that be the air quality inside the building, whether it be the machines that keep their manufacturing equipment cool or heated or up and running, whether it be critical pieces of equipment like server rooms, things like that. We found we can make things more efficient. We can help people with their budgets and overall make our neighbors in the community more profitable. Something else we've learned, something maybe a little more simple that everyone knows, but we don't maybe always practice in the world, is communication's key, right? People like building trust, like building familiarity. So we found that communicating with our customers helps build long-term relationships. We like to assign our HVAC technicians and our plumbers to certain accounts. So they learn the people, they learn their challenges, and they learn about the building too.
Yeah, that's all really important stuff. Touch a little bit, and we kind of talked more about the history first. Tell us about the services that you offer. It's a long list.
Right, right.
Right. Well, really, we are a full service mechanical contractor. So, what this means is that we are specifically more focused on commercial and industrial type of facilities, but we do everything from refrigeration, HVAC, plumbing, pipe fitting, and sheet metal controls, you name it. So, what really sets us apart is that we're able to deliver end to end solutions or provide a turnkey solution to our customers. So, we can not only design it with our in house engineering team, we then fabricate it with our sheet metal shop, we install it, and then we maintain it. So customers really like that because this allows them to be a little bit more in the driver's seat, and it's a little more streamlined and really allows them to take more control of their projects as they're ongoing.
Yeah, and we know that is essential, especially as businesses are expanding, businesses are growing. One of the things you guys mentioned in the little form you fill out before you come on the podcast is that you guys have a maintenance forward approach. What does that mean?
So with a maintenance forward approach, what we're looking for is existing organizations, right? The companies that have been here longer than us in the Cincinnati or Kentucky area. And they have their operations, and we're looking for ways to really optimize their budgets, right? So we're very aggressive. We're looking for long-term commitments with partners. And we start with maintenance, and then from there we can dig a little deeper, learn about the age of their equipment, the condition of equipment, find out, can we make this stuff last longer, or do we need to start building a budget with you to replace this so you're not hit with tens of thousands of dollars in cost to replace HVAC equipment that you weren't budgeting for and weren't expecting.
Yeah, both of you have mentioned long-term relationships. Tell us, when you're working with these businesses, what is that benefit? What is your goal when you're thinking about like how long and what the benefits are of working with a client like that?
So I think the long-term benefit is really just optimizing their spend and budgets, right? HVAC tends to be taken for granted. It's on top of the building, it's behind the building, and as long as you're comfortable, you're not thinking about it. But when something does go wrong, it's a big deal, it's a big cost, and how can we make those surprises go away? So if we have, a continuing relationship with these facilities, with these organizations, we can catch this ahead of time. We can help with budgeting as well as just catching small problems before they become big ones.
Yeah, no one likes a building that's suddenly 90 degrees in the middle of summer when it shouldn't be. So one of the other things I want to ask, so when you're working with these clients, what are the most common challenges you all are solving for them?
No, that's a great question, because one of the biggest challenges that building owners are faced with today are rising operating costs. Right. So it especially comes down to when you're looking at a building, the costs that are really associated with the systems in the building. So the HVAC, the plumbing. So trying to contain those costs, because so many building owners really don't have a complete grasp of what they're spending in terms of their reactive repairs, the inefficient operation of some of the equipment that really impacts on their utility costs. And then to what Christopher was talking about earlier, just in terms of like doing any sort of premature equipment replacement, right? So we help them kind of sidestep some of that, help put together replacement upgrade and capital upgrade budgets so that they're not having these surprises out of pocket. It's something that they can plan for year over year.
Yeah, that's really essential. Like you guys have both said, that really is a benefit for the clients you guys are working with, I'm sure. So one of the other questions I want to ask, because we're kind of getting towards the end, what is one of the things you enjoy most about working with local businesses as you guys have expanded down south?
I think working in this industry in general, it really gets us out in the community. And what I mean by that is, we get to go into different buildings, different operations, see things that are being made, how they're being made, things like that around here. And I could literally go on a plane at CVG right now, and critical parts of that plane are made here. And I could take that thing across the country, walk into a supermarket, and find labeling on a product that was made here. And it's just really cool to see what kind of impact on the national scale that Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky has.
Yeah, that's really very cool. So for people who have heard the podcast and want to learn more about Rieck services, maybe get in touch, what's the best way to get in touch with you all?
So to reach our Cincinnati office, our phone number is 513-733-8888. Give us a call. We also have www.rieckservices.com, our website, LinkedIn as well. Our website right now is going through a total refresh. So it's up and running it now. You can get our contact information there. It's going to be way better.
Yeah, give it a couple of weeks.
Give us a
But yeah,
We're getting
otherwise, give us a call. We're also sponsoring the community guide, the back cover this year. So if you missed the end of this podcast, our information's there.
Yeah, you pick that up at the chamber offices or at one of our many, many events we have up here. It has been so great to talk with you all about your organization. Before I let you go, anything else you think our viewers and listeners need to know about Rieck services?
I don't know. I didn't prepare ahead of time for this question. Kristin,
It's
you
the
got
curveball
anything?
question.
Well, I think that I will throw into that since you've put the phone number out there, is just to let anybody know too that we are 24/7 and we have technicians on call. So if there's ever an emergency need, which people tend to, a lot of the industries that we work with, like hospitals and so forth, they're going to be 24/7 as well. So you can always call that 513-733-8888 number.
Save me there,
24/7. 24/7.
Well,
Yes.
thank you guys both so much for coming on. It was absolutely a pleasure to have you guys with us today.
Hey, thank you, Sarah. Thank you for hosting us in this new facility too. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
thanks for coming. I know we had to reschedule it to this location, so it's great to have you guys here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to our Investors Circle members. Our Investors Circle members help us promote and support the development of strong businesses and a vibrant economy in the Northern Kentucky region. Thank you to all of these members for their investment, which will help the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce in our mission to develop and grow a thriving business community. Northern Kentucky needs tailored solutions to address our housing shortage. Home for All, Northern Kentucky Housing Strategies, explores how we can retain young adults, help older residents downsize or age in place, and ensure new neighbors have housing options that fit their lives. Dive into the report at housingNKY.org. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks so much for tuning into today's episode of the podcast, where we learn more about Rieck Services and the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you to our podcast sponsors, CKREU, Google and Amazon advertising experts. And before I let you guys go today, I want to plug our upcoming Eggs and Issues happening on Tuesday, June 23rd. This month's focus is From Blueprint to Progress, an update on income-aligned housing in Northern Kentucky. This conversation will explore housing supply and workforce needs across the region. Leaders will share what's working, where gaps remain, and what it will take to make an impact on housing shortages in Northern Kentucky. You can learn more and register for that event at nkychamber.com/events. Finally, if you are a member who'd like to be featured on the podcast, or if you're someone who is interested in joining the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, please reach out to Lynn Ablin. You can find her contact information on the screen if you're a viewer, and our listeners can find that at nkychamber.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys next week.